All right, guys. We're on episode 120. Yeah. Today, we're going to get into Texas Whiskey Festival, obviously. But we are also going to get into Get Off of My Lawn and In Comes the Flood. Let's get into it. Let's do it. All right. First things first. I'm recording this episode super late from it's needed to be released because I had a lot going on over the weekend. So I'm actually recording this Tuesday night. It's almost 5 o'clock. I got off a little early today, had to pick up my son. That's no business of yours. So I'm in the shed. He's in there watching baseball videos because he's playing baseball right now. So if I have to pause, you guys won't know, but if I have to pause, if he comes in here, thanks. Anyway, all that being said, tomorrow, which by the time this comes out, it'll be a week late. Tomorrow, I am in the finals of Germ's Blind Sample Challenge or Showdown, whatever you want to call it. So what we're gonna do something I don't normally drink on Tuesdays, but I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out, guys. And you know why? Because the guy I'm going against is number one in all of the points. Yeah. So I need to do a little sample. So we're going to do this blind, and I want the Patreon at home will be able to watch me go for my samples that are over here to the right of me. I have about 50 odd samples over there. I'm going to pick one, put it in my hand, closed my hand, pour it into a Glen. That one has nasty. I don't know. It's not too bad. It's old from last weekend when I did a video, whatever. I'm going to pour it in there, and then I'm going to put it in this said box that Mr. Germ sent me with my blind samples in it. Only the blind samples aren't in it right now. I'm going to throw that sample in this box, and then we will do a reveal. I will do tasting notes on it, all the things, not tasting notes, but my reveal for it. And then somewhere throughout the episode, we will see if I'm a winner or not. I don't know if we'll do two. We might only do one. I'm trying to not drink as much, during the week especially. So let's get in there. I am going to step away from the mic, grab my sample with my eyes closed. Okay. There are some of them that are different bottles. I'm not going to care which bottle they are. I'm just going to grab one. There's even a couple of rums in there from Marshall. So you might hear as well. You might hear my little air conditioner that's going right here. It's already freaking hot in the shed. So y'all are going to have to deal with the little buzzing noise when I'm not talking. It is supposed to be noise canceling and all the things. I paid so much money for this mic. Like, it better be the best thing in the world. So pause real fast. Patreon at home who get the video of this episode, make sure you keep me honest, okay? And you make sure in the comments, tell everybody I cheated or I didn't, which I'm not going to cheat. Why would I do that? It doesn't help me at all, cheating. So here we go. I'm going to move the chair back, and I'm away from the mic, so I will be right back. I have said sample. I don't know what it is. Pouring it in, trying not to look, but I don't want to spill either. Okay. I can't see. Look, I can't see the label. It's totally covered. Now I'm going to close my eyes and put it in the box. That's the best way I know to do it. Okay. We did the thing. Okay. I have no idea what this whiskey is. There's everything from peated American single malts to hazmat bourbons. So just be prepared for that. Okay, let's get into the topic at hand. I'm going to show you a clip in a little bit of some of the footage that I took personally from the Texas Whiskey Festival. We are going to get into that. But first, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about our sponsor. No, I'm joking. We're not doing that 2 minutes in. Calm down. No, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened to me recently. This has to do, it doesn't have to do with whiskey, but we'll get there. As you can see, the Patreon can see at home, the color on this whiskey is super dark, mahogany, almost reddish looking. So looks, I can kind of smell it from here, but I don't know. Okay, so this past week has been a little stressful for the family. We're going through some things. We're not going to talk about it here yet until we get over that hump of it. Not saying it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. We're just dealing with it, right? So if you know, you know. And if I have given you that information, please do not share it. And if I haven't, please know that it's something that is prayer worthy in my family. So if you're a praying person, I could use a little extra prayers in my family. Not me personally. Well, it affects me very personally, but not me personally. But anyway, in my house, we'll just say that. So we've been dealing with that. So the other day, my son, like I said earlier, has baseball. And so we have to go to baseball practice and baseball games and all the things, right? So we kind of tag team it as parents, you know, we kind of tag team it. Hey, you blah, blah, blah. We'll do this. We'll do dinner, all the things, right? So the other day we had to work at the concessions for the baseball game. So we had to get there early. And then when it was time for our son to play, we got to get out and somebody took over for us. So we were there at like 5:30. So we leave the house, you know, 5 o'clock, something like that, to get to town because we're a little ways out, to get to town and get everything. And then my son had practice or, you know, warm-ups before the game. So we're fixing to do concessions. My in-laws who live in our backyard were, I know this is probably too much information and you don't care. It gets to the story though. I'm trying to make it faster. They live in the back. They were out of town. My daughter was here watching the dogs. She had to let them out and potty and feed them and do the things, right? So she was doing that and she was going to meet us at the game. Okay. So she had done that. We had left already, gone to the thing, and she came back and all of a sudden she calls my wife. Now my daughter's 17, just to let you know. She calls my wife and she's like, hey, there's somebody in the yard or in our driveway. Now we have a little circle driveway, right? You come in from the street, there's a cattle guard, and then it goes a circle, you know, around a pecan tree and a old windmill, right? Old turn of the century house, super cool house. You're more than welcome to it. If you're ever in the area, just call me, obviously first. So she's like, there's somebody here. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, who is it? It's probably somebody. We have a big trash can, like a big, like the big blue ones, you know, that they have to pick up and stuff like that. For my business, I kind of need it. Throwing toilets and water heaters and all kinds of stuff in there. It's kind of a thing. I try to recycle the water heater anyway. It doesn't matter. I thought it was somebody. We let them use that as well because I don't fill it up all the time. So they dump some of their trash in there. I thought it was somebody there. So I was like, oh, it's just blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, they have a trailer with a broken down something on the back of it. And it looks like their tires popped or something like that. So we're at the baseball game. Like it's probably 20 minutes before I can get there. So freaking out, right? This is the get off my yard, right? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, DEFCON 5, there's a creeper at the house with my daughter alone. Understand that. So I call the neighbor. The neighbors are always there for us when we need them. And so we call them and they're like peeling out on the way over there, strapped and ready to go. If you know what I mean. If you know, you know, right? So they go over there. So long story short, it was a old man. I would say 60s, probably in his 60s, with the jankiest trailer you have ever seen, with these tires that look like, I don't know, they were maybe 10 inches around, like the entire rim and tire. Like it's literally, you know, I think my wheelbarrow tire is bigger than that, right? And he had like a piece of equipment for his shredder or something on the back of it. Well, he blew a tire, like it was blown up. So he decided, I don't know this man from Adam, right? I have no idea who this guy is. He decided it would be okay for him to pull into my driveway on private property and unload his trailer. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, do I need to leave? Do I need to go meet with this guy? So the neighbor, who is he's very quick to come to aid, especially in instances like this. He is all about a fight, not in a bad way, but he is all about this is my property, don't touch it type thing. So he after I was like, call me, let me know what's going on. Well, next thing you know, he calls me and he's like, okay, old man lives down the street. Tire blew on the trailer. He's going to go get another tire and hopefully it'll be gone before you guys even get back. Cause we had a 7:30 at night game. So we weren't going to get back till probably 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. So we had a couple hours, right? So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll deal with it then. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, my daughter locked herself in the car because she was freaking out, right? She don't know who this guy is. He's like randomly there. So the neighbor came over and was like, everything's fine. You're fine. He's going to leave. He's supposedly good people. And supposedly somewhere in there, he knew my father-in-law. And he's like, oh, is this blah, blah, blah's place? And they're like, no, it's not. So here's the thing. And here's why I bring all of this up, why I'm even talking about this, right? Do people these days not understand private property or this is mine? I feel like the world, and I'm not trying to go on this tangent at all. I feel like the world does not care for personal property. They come onto your property at all hours. They do what they want. We've had so many people. And I mean, look back at the podcasts. There's people that have been on our property so many times for no reason. Like, do you want to get shot? I'm sorry. I don't want to get dinged for saying that. But my right as a American is to protect my family and my property. As soon as you move that threshold into my property, I have a right to take lethal action if necessary. Now, would I do it? I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I've been pretty close, but I've never been in that situation before. So here's the thing. Is it okay, for one, for this man to just come to my property? He's on the road. Why not just pull over on the side of the road? It's a state highway or off highway, a farm to market road, right? Stay there, right? Stay on the side of the road, which is county property. Don't stay in my yard, which is personal property. So by law, as soon as he left that there, that turned into my property. If I wanted to get technical about it, right? Anything left on my property is mine, especially without my consent. Now, I understand, and I'm not trying to be hard-headed or pig-headed or whatever you want to call it. I am merely trying to say, if nobody is home, you do not have the right to leave your property at my house, period. Unless, I don't care if you do know me or my father-in-law. You contact somebody and say, hey, here's the problem. And nothing was ever said about it. So what do you do there? Rightfully, I have the right to be pissed, right? I have the right to be like, what? Okay, is it inconveniencing me? No. But I'll get back to that. It's not inconveniencing me. But at the same time, it freaked my daughter out. And that makes me very upset because my daughter should feel safe in her own house. Amen? So when you take that away, and here's the other thing, as a father, I wasn't there to protect her. That's where it hurts. And that's where I feel offended by the situation. Does that make sense? So in saying all of that, like, did he do wrong? Absolutely. Was it a simple mistake? More than likely. But here's the other thing. There was no note. Now, the neighbor did talk to him. He said he was going to come fix it. And I'm thinking, okay, it's 5 o'clock, 5:30 at this point on in the afternoon. Where are you going to get this tire fixed? Walmart would be the only place. And I don't think they have little bitty trailer tires. They might, but okay. So the next day, I get up and I'm like, I'm going to stay here until he gets here. He didn't show up. My daughter was fine. She ended up coming to the game. She just kind of left and came to the game because she was scared, which I don't blame her. I understand. So came back to the house, checked the trailer, ran the plates on it, couldn't find anything on it. All the apps wanted me to pay for them and stuff. Anyway, long story short, short story long, maybe 15 minutes in, good Lord. So the next day I'm like, I'm going to stay here until the guy shows up. Well, 9:30 rolls around. The dude still's not there. He didn't even drive by. He didn't come to the house. He didn't, nothing. So I'm like, I got to go. I got to go make some money, right? So I go to work. We come home from work. I take a shower. It's still there. It hasn't been moved. Now, at this point, it has been, he moved it from in the driveway to over kind of in the pasture, to where it's not in the driveway. That was nice of him, right? So he shows up about 6:00 that afternoon. And I'd already taken a shower. I wasn't ready to fight. You know what I mean? But I went out there and I confronted him. But here's the thing. When I went out there, I think of some words in my head that somebody told me once, which Jesus told me. He said, this is your brother. Treat him like you would want to be treated, right? So I had that in my mind the whole time, trying to have grace. I go out there and I confront the guy. For one, here's the other thing. When he got there, day of, to fix that said trailer, he did not come up to my house and knock on the door, apologize, say, hey, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. He just went straight to his trailer. That to me is extremely rude, right? Like, you're on my property. And I did not talk to you yesterday when you were on my property. You have all right to say, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm here to get the trailer. Very sorry about any inconvenience. I would have dropped it right there. I would have been like, bro, I get it. Don't do it again. Come on, man. Like, leave it on the road. Like, I nobody's going to steal your janky equipment. I promise you that. So I go out there, I confront him. I say those same things. And I said, do you understand that you completely freaked out my daughter who was here alone? She had no idea who you were, what your intentions were. She saw, yeah, you had a messed up trailer, but that doesn't mean anything to her, right? She feared for her safety. And you know how that makes me feel as a father? That makes me feel very angry, right? Because when my daughter is fearing for her life or her safety, that's when the daddy bear comes out, right? And he was like, man, I didn't mean anything by it. I said, and then you didn't come to the house and present yourself like a man to me and apologize for the inconvenience for me and my daughter who you freaked out. I know you saw her. She was freaking out in the car, trying to take videos of you because she didn't know who you were. You're not allowed on private property, period. Like, if I was a better man, if I wasn't a better man, I could have shot you on sight. I'm not going to, but I could have. Now, did anybody get hurt? No, my daughter got a little freaked out. I got my temper up a little bit, not to him, but personally, I was like, Did it hurt anybody? No. But get off my lawn. What are you doing? That's like letting your dog crap somebody else. You taking your dog and having them crap on somebody else's yard, right? Just don't do it, bro. Just stay in your lane. And that's life. That is freaking life right there. People have no regard for other people's houses, for their possessions, for their things, and it shows. And this is an old German man, right? He didn't mean anything by it. I know that. I know that he had no ill will. I could see it. And he apologized to me, but it was a little too late, right? It really was. Now, am I mad at him? No. Did I need to talk about it? Obviously. But if you guys have ran into anything like that, let me know down below. Let's get into this blind because now I need a drink after getting heated. All right. So on the color, super dark, like I said, let's get in on the nose. Wow. That is maple syrup. It's ethanol forward. Very. Wow. Okay. Let me see on the taste what it's just kind of hot, actually. That is Bernie. Okay. Wow. Okay, so type I'm going to put bourbon. I'm not going to spell it all out. I know how to spell bourbon. Proof. I might go to casking. Casking is going to be new. Proof. It's hot. Dude, I can't even hardly smell it. What is this? Dang. Okay. Proof. I'm going to do it. I think it's hazmat. Good Lord. 140 plus. I don't know. 140. Type bourbon. Straight bourbon. Proof 140.2. I don't know. Casking new. I don't think it's finished in anything. It's just freaking hot. Wow. So distillery. I'm going to do this. Distillery, I'm going to put MGP. And there's a reason. You'll see in a second. The bottle is 13th Colony. The hazmat single barrel. If it is that was a sample I got from Cole over at the Chill Filtered podcast. Are you guys ready for the reveal? Because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, let's just do the reveal. It has good flavor. It's just super hot. Here we go. Come on. Oh, okay. Wow. This is not. It's not that. So this is actually. I was close. Okay. This is Willet, purple top, single barrel, Hurricane, which is hazmat. So I'm going to pause and see if I can find it real fast. Well, cracker. I could not find it, but this was a sample from none other than Dylan with Whiskey House Pub House. This is the Hurricane single barrel. They had a Hurricane at the Willet Distiller, or not a Hurricane, but you know what I mean. And it is hazmat. So I did get that. It is a bourbon. So I got bourbon. I'm okay. I'm going to give myself a point for the 140. But I'm also going to text Dylan and see what the proof is on it. It is new. It is a straight bourbon. It is 140. It is new. It is not the 13th Colony, and it is not the MGP. So I'm going to text Dylan. All right. So I texted him real fast. Hopefully he'll get back with me during this recording. I don't blame him if he doesn't, but if he does, great. So this is a great pour. It's hot, it's fiery, but I've always kind of been against Willet. I think it tastes a little run down. It tastes a little mineral for me. But this one, man, it's so hot on the nose. Like it is burning my freaking nose. It might be 145. I don't know. It is hot, but on the flavor, there's a lot there. It is oak forward. Tannic, almost overly tannic. But it's like you're eating the creme brulee from a creme brulee. You're eating the brulee part of it, but it's actually still on fire. That's what it tastes like. So I am wearing my State of Mind Texas Whiskey Festival shirt. I did not get this year's. I'm still going to. I just don't have it. Not yet. Let's get into the Texas Whiskey Festival. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the last, 15 minutes of my video I just released on YouTube of some little shorts. Okay, he said he's seen it right now, so that's a good sign. And I will come back to you. I'm going to play this real fast. Let me do, share my screen and things like that. Okay. Okay, so before we get into it, here's this one. 71.7. So I'm within 2 points. I did not get it on the other one, but I am within 2 points. So I did get it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5. Not bad. Not bad. 5 out of that one. That is crazy. That is a crazy bottle. Holy shizzle. I'm still recording. I'm sorry. As I'm texting him. My bad. My bad. All right, let's get into this. I am such a loser. Let's go.
About winning world's best small batch single malt. I can't freaking talk.
Well, it feels pretty good. First of all, I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank my bosses. No, I'm just joking. For real, I do want to thank them. But it feels pretty awesome to be that little bitty old distillery from the hill country in Texas making waves in the world. We beat out a 40-year-old Bunnahabhain, and I hold Bunnahabhain pretty close to my heart.
40-year-old.
It feels pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Sorry. That music is really loud.
And I just want him to be able to talk about it openly. And
all right, this is the longer part, so I'm going to let you guys listen.
So if you have questions, say them.
And sorry, I recorded it with my phone.
So Sean, tell us about the Packers and your microphone right there.
I do. Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Seals with Spirit of Texas. We have been around since 2009, so you might not have heard of us, but we're not new. We are most known for our Pecan Street rum. That's a product that we've been making since 2010. Sorry. And then we've journeyed on.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Again, my name is Brad Parpstein. I'm the owner and operator at Real Brewing Company. Thank you. And Real Spirit. So we've been making beer out in the hill country for the last 29 years, and we've been making spirits out in the hill country for the last 12 years. We got our DSP license in 2013. We are also taking a little bit different approach to making spirits. We source a alembic pot still from a manufacturer in Portugal to make our spirits. And for those of you guys that are not familiar with alembic pot stills, but they are primarily designed to distill wine. They're designed to make the fortifying spirit for port wines and sherries. And they differ from most stills in that they are designed to capture flavor instead of stripping flavor out, because most distillates of wine are looking to preserve a lot of the ester profiles of the wine into the final spirit. And what we are extremely focused on is capturing the ester profiles of our beer and carrying those ester profiles into our spirits. Since we have a lot of experience in fermentation and making beer, it seemed like a natural way for us to be able to carry the qualities of our beer into our final spirit. We were a founding member of the Texas Whiskey Association. When we got involved with the association, the spirit industry in Texas was very young. And there was a lot of spirit that was being brought in from out of state and sold as Texas whiskey, mainly the ones that had big cowboy hats and stars on it. Our billboards on I-35, because none of us can afford a billboard on I-35. So, but it was important to us. I'm born and raised in Texas, and I love everything about Texas except for posers. I really wanted to make sure that people could differentiate actually Texas-made spirits from spirits that are made outside the state.
So let's talk about the Phoenix Horizon project, which is what we're in today. So it's a 5-year experiment. So talk to us about what the experiment is and why y'all chose to make it 5 years and so forth?
Yeah, so, because, us as distillers in Texas are fairly young to the industry and excited about pushing boundaries, what we have found is that beers that have complex malt bills, mainly dark malts, but also caramel malts, make incredible whiskey. So our signature whiskey is made from a Belgian triple or devil's backbone and a Scotch ale called Real Heavy. And what we found by distilling our Real Heavy was that really complex malt bill translated into a really complex whiskey. We had produced a beer back in 2007 called Phoenix Double ESB, and it was one of our favorite beers. It was produced for a little over 11 years. But we discontinued it in 2017, and our head distiller, Davin Topol, was interested in what the distillate of that beer might taste like. So we brewed a batch just for the distillery. When we are brewing for the distillery, please know there's no hops introduced into the boiling process because the hops don't translate well through the distilling process. And we also do not boil our wort, which is weird for us as brewers, but as distillers, the congeners are something we want to keep in our wash and keep in our final spirit. And those could be disrupted or destroyed in the boiling process. And so,
Distiller at Giant Texas Distilling, and I reached out to him with this project that I wanted to do, which was, man, I found some sweet Spanish vermouth barrels. Can we put your rye in it? And he's like, I got you. Let's do it. And I'm gonna let Julian take it from there because we bought 3 barrels and 2 of them went one direction and this one took a whole new path. And he was more a part of that process than I was. And so, Julian, how did it go?
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm really honored to be with these great distillers around me. It was a process that took some time. It was we did an extensive barrel selection before we picked the barrel that was going to go into the vermouth barrels. As Jake said, it was 3 barrels. One was the oddball. That one developed some oily, smoky character. So we said this is going to be a cigar batch. So we kept waiting until it was the perfect moment to pull the liquid out of the barrel, which was almost a year, 10 months. And that's what you're drinking right now. It's proudly a gold medal winner of the competition. So we are very proud of that. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're located in Houston, Texas. We're east of downtown. We come from a coffee background. We're a family-owned business, 3rd generation. We have been making whiskey for the last 8 years. Very weird setup. You guys go there, very weird stills. We custom made those stills. And then 2 years ago, we put in operation a distillation column. With that distillation column in operation, we are able to produce more refined whiskeys, cleaner white dog. So I have the ability to blend a pot distill and column distill white dog. That's what we're doing right now. And we pay a lot of attention into the details on the grain that I picked for the mash bills. Now I'm playing with different varieties for the rye, for example. I'm making a rye with Serafino rye and a Bruzzi rye, which is more on the chocolate side. We're also changing a little bit in the corn. We're using more white corn in the mash bill. We lowered our entry brew. We learned, as opposed to Brad, in Houston, the conditions are a little bit different. We have way more humidity and we're aging at sea level, right? So I age in concrete warehouses. We stack in pallets, only 3 high. Every 6 months, we rotate the pallets because we have to do an inventory every 6 months. So we take that opportunity to rotate the pallets. Additionally, I have a moisture and temperature sensors connected to exhaust fans. So when the moisture goes above 75%, the exhaust fans will come on to keep the airflow. That's everything I do over there. Yeah, we reach in different conditions, but what you guys are tasting today is a Texas soil. I truly believe that the properties of the Texas terroir create a different flavor profile, and we are very proud about that. So guys, enjoy. Cheers.
Cigar with Andalusia Whiskey Company. He is their head distiller, and what he brought tonight is another collaboration that I did with Andalusia, and it is their Revenant Oak, so Irish peated single malt. We put their new mate in mezcal barrels. So this is a 100% aged in mezcal barrels. Irish peated single malt in mezcal barrels.
Do you remember what kind of mezcal barrels?
I do not. I'm guessing that you probably have that. I'm going to let him actually tell you about it. So what I love about this collaboration is I kind of gave Moose, I bought these barrels. Here's kind of what I want to do. And next thing you know, I get a text message from him saying, hey, here's what I did. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So I'll let Moose take it away from there.
Good afternoon. So one day you show up to work and there's 3 mezcal barrels sitting out. And the first one you fill with...
I thought we only, oh no, we didn't have 3. Sorry, we had 3.
There were 3 at the beginning. 3. It's a magic number I've heard. So you start off with 3 barrels. You fill one with an already 3-year aged product or 2.5-year aged product. And that was our first Tejas release with the Texas Whiskey Festival. But if you leave me alone with new barrels that have not been spoken for too long, I get antsy. I want to do funny things with them. And these barrels happen to be a little bit of smoky agave leaning. So why not put our peated single malt in it? So I was right in the middle of a couple of Revenant Oak distillations. I needed somewhere for the spirit to go desperately, and it just so happened that lovely fella in the hat down there dropped me off a couple barrels that were willing participants. Those barrels happened to be one Espadín mezcal barrel and one Mexicano mezcal barrel. One was smoky, one was not. One had a bunch of fruit flavors and one had a bunch of dense earthy flavors. They sat around for just a touch over 24 months. And really kind of let all of the fun, perplexing smoke profile that you can't quite put your finger down. I need one of those things.
I mean, we cannot allow that.
I make kinds of good stuff, sir. It really, for one, let those 2 casks speak against each other without it being dominating in agave smoke or dominating in peat smoke. That one not smoky cask allowed us a little bit of leeway, and we came out with a really approachable yet still smoky, full flavor, 50% alcohol. And that 100 proof, we had talked about it. I think Jake and I did a little video about it. Putting it out at some different strengths, and we sat around one afternoon and we tried it at cask strength. We tried it halfway between there and 50% alcohol. And at 50% alcohol, that smoke really blew. So, the water's kind of breaking apart that smoke, letting it blossom out, get aromatic. And it really brought it to life. So for me, this whiskey, for one, if I ruined your barrels, I'm sorry. I don't think I did. But for me, it's honey, eucalyptus, and like that really awesome bottle of tequila you weren't supposed to drink with your dad's. That's where this sits for me. Somewhere in the middle of that. I don't know what else you want me to say about this.
No,
I could talk all day about it.
No, and let's not talk all day about it. It's, I think you did a phenomenal job explaining it and the process. Yes, we went through a lot of different proofs and we just kind of settled on, we like this one the best. We really wanted to highlight the smoke. But I actually have a question that I would like each of y'all's input on when it comes to these projects. And And I'm gonna start with you, Sean, and then we're gonna work our way down. I know, I put you on the spot. Any questions?
It's all good. I mean, I think one of the biggest things with being a Texan all my life and just seeing the camaraderie of the distillery organization, and then having the support from the local Texans and even the transplants that have moved to Texas. I think once people get in here, they kind of realize that we have this bond to where people are creating new ideas, people are willing to give tribe of these individuals, and so again, I think it opens people's eyes to opportunities to try new products, and some states tend to be a little more snobby on certain aspects of.
So what you're saying is we're Texas friendly?
I think we're, yes.
All right, I like that. We're Texas friendly. All right. Brad, where are you at with, how do these success and failures, how are they shaping the Texas whiskey landscape?
I think it's just making it a more creative space that people want to be a part of, and I think it is helping to put Texas on the map. I think I mentioned it before, but I think we're making some of the best whiskey in the country, and I think the whiskey that ages in Texas is different than the whiskey that's aging in other states, just because of our really diverse climate. You know, Julian kind of talked about how humid it is in Houston. It's interesting, like we always get a coastal breeze coming up from Corpus on 281. And so, you know, we sit at about like 84% relative humidity pretty much year round, which is really interesting. And we haven't seen a large angel share in our rick houses through the years, but 2023 was the second hottest summer on record, and we really saw a significant angel share. We actually saw our proofs going up, which is uncommon for us. And as a result, it ended up making some of the best whiskey we've ever made. Now, there's a lot less of it, which is I'm crying over. But the whiskey that was aging in those rick houses is some of the best whiskey we ever made. So, you know, I think Texas distilling is still in its infancy. There's a lot for us to do, a lot for us to prove. But I think with all the innovations that we do, it creates an environment that people want to continue to be a part of it, and it's exciting, and it's new, and we're not kind of stuck in the confines of what other people think whiskey is. So I think there's a lot more to come.
I think that's fantastic.
I think he said it all. You said it all.
Mic drop.
Discussion's now done. Brad said everything. No, come on, you got some.
No, I think that these experiments, either if they fail or they success, they just improve the quality of our whiskey. If you think about it, 6 years ago, there was not so many Texas whiskey out there, and now we're on the map. A few weeks ago, I was in New York, and I was very proud to see the whiskey list. Whiskeys from Balcones and whiskeys from Garrison Brothers. So that is telling us that we're doing something right. So yeah, these experiments are only challenging us to be better, and it's just gonna get even better from here.
Success and failure, I don't know, man. Success makes you take a step back, look at what you've done, and figure out how to rectify that situation. Without the failures, where even are we, man? If I hadn't made all of my friends taste shitty booze at some point, and they go, smooth, man. I would not be the guy I am today. Without making a couple really stellar casks of whiskey and pitting them against the worst things I've ever made, where would I be? It all holds us accountable for our mistakes and makes us strive for something further and to reach that next bar. And so we don't stagnate. Maybe we're all a young industry. We're in our infancy, like Brad said, but it keeps us always reaching, new plateaus and always resetting that bar and striving for more. So even though we may always be in the same wheelhouse of whiskey, of Texas whiskey, we're also at a constant elevation of Texas whiskey. we're always pushing the boundaries of what Texas whiskey can be. And I think as a group, we're doing a pretty stellar job at it.
I certainly fucking agree. No, I think that y'all are constantly pushing the boundaries. 100% agree. Yes, everything y'all said is exactly what I've noticed over the last 8 years of getting to be a part of this and doing this. And so, y'all, what I love about this industry is that these distillers never stop pushing the envelope. They don't ask. The question is why, not why. The question is why not, as I was put earlier. It's like, why not? It's fun. And that is every time I've approached anybody with a collaboration project, the answer's been, why not? Sounds like fun. And I think that's what sets y'all apart from any other industry and any other whiskey people, is that y'all answer a question with, why not? Not, I don't know, maybe, sure. Y'all just go, why not? But no, y'all are innovating, and I do know there are some questions out there. So.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. So that's it. That's it. Now there's other parts of that, obviously. Hold on 1 second. I had the wrong dang headphones on. And when I'm talking into this mic, this one right here, I can't hear myself. So it's difficult because when you can't hear yourself, it's kind of hard. Okay. So that's Texas whiskey in itself. It's about innovating and being different and being unique, but not sacrificing quality and doing cool projects. Now, when I did the blind challenge or the blind samples for the Texas Whiskey Festival, I said, I think in a podcast, I said that Texas whiskey has a lot of work to do. And I agree with that. It does. It's still in its infancy, like they said. But the place that it came from to where it is right now, absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to do something. I said I wasn't going to do it, but that makes me want to raise a toast. But we're going to do it blind, because why not? Tomorrow I have the blind, the master of all blinds. So I'm going to step away from the mic again. Patreon, watch me, make sure I don't cheat, and we'll do it all over again. I actually poured the last of that willet back into the thing, so it went back into the kitty. So if I pull it again, I don't think I will. I put it anyway. Doesn't matter. So let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh God. That's it. All right. So this one, on the other hand, is a goldenrod colored. So we're going to get into that here in a second. I still have things to talk about. So let's talk about my experience at the 8th annual Texas Whiskey Festival. So my experience, I went by myself. Now, that is not recommended for whiskey people, because if you're going to sample whiskey and you're going to drink whiskey, there was 35 distilleries there. And if you had one sip from every distillery, that's 35 drinks, which equals up to about 5.5 ounces. And that's with a very small amount. That's a lot. And then driving home, obviously. So driving home was the option. That was what I was going to do. So I did what I did during the blind for the Whiskey Festival. I spit. Now, I will tell you this. I probably tried, out of all of them, 3 different whiskeys, maybe 4. I tried Samuel Maverick. I tried, my buddy Richard Amiro from the Whiskey Provisioner. he is a brand rep for Iron Root. So he let me try, which I had already tried before. I forgot, I didn't tell him that, but I had already tried before. It was a 10-year-old, and you're hearing it right, a 10-year-old Iron Root. It was called Danger. Danica and Ranger, I think, is the name. It's the licorice's kids. Anyway, long story. It was excellent, absolutely fantastic. Small bottle. It was that secret pour, you know what I mean? Me being who I am, I got a little taste of it, which I had already had a taste of it because my buddy Eric, his family actually, but anyway, whatever. He went to Iron Root during the 10th anniversary and picked up a bottle, and I got to sample it at Christmas, and it was excellent, absolutely fantastic. And then I tried Mossy Horn. That's a new one for me. I think they're new to the festival. They won best flavored whiskey. Now, I did not try their flavored whiskey. They had a cask strength single barrel bourbon that was actually pretty nice. I had a small sip of it. And what was the other thing I tried? Oh, man, I don't remember his name, and I'm very sorry. Moose's helper at Andalusia said, "Have you tried our new Revenant Oak?" And I was like, "What do you mean new Revenant Oak?" He goes, "Well, the new batch that just came out is 35% peated malt." I was like, "Yeah, sir, let's do that." It was so nice. It was so nice. So I spit most of those. I did have the little cheers at the very beginning. So in total, I might have had, and this is a half an ounce of whiskey the entire night. Understand that. I was there for 3 to 4 hours, and I drank 7 bottles of water. I'm not lying. I counted. No, I did. It wasn't 7, but it was at least 4. And that's the cool thing about the festival. They, all the water and stuff you need. Now, I am not going to shame anybody, but there was a lot of people there enjoying themselves. We'll just say that. And that, no shame, brother. Do you? But I've done that. I've gone there. I've gone there to drink whiskey. Now, what is the point of going to a whiskey festival if you don't drink whiskey? Answer that. But first, let's get into our sample. Like I said, goldenrod, but I can smell that this is a little smoky. Okay? A little smoky. Little smoky gal. Which is fine. That's what Germ's Blind Challenge Showdown is, whatever. Last time I got Larceny and Pikesville. And then Westland. Yeah, Westland. So it's a crapshoot. It really is a crapshoot. This smells a little smoky. I poured way too much. I poured the entire sample because I didn't know how much I was pouring. So I'm not going to drink all this. Believe me. Ooh. Okay. Type. I'm going to put ASM. Proof. I'm going to put it at 100 just to kind of hedge my bets. Cask. I'm going to put used. Type. I'm still going to put ASM. Proof. I'm going to go back in for proof real fast. It doesn't feel like it's super hot. The peat or smoke, I don't know if it's peat. I don't know if it's peat. The smoke on it. The smoke is making it kind of feel hotter than it is. I'm gonna leave it at 150 or 50% alcohol, obviously. Cask used. I don't think it's finished at all. It does taste a little fruity at the end, so it could be possibly a brandy finish or a wine finish, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Distillery. I'm gonna do Santa Fe. And bottle, I'm going to do the B. Are you ready? All right, Patreon at home. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not right. I am not right. So this is really interesting. And this did come from Cole from Chill Filtered. Sorry, I was swallowing as I was talking. I'm sorry. This is actually Paul John, peated Indian single malt at 111 proof. So I got 2 points. I got the used casking. Yeah, it is not an American single malt. It is a Indian, in fact, an Indian single malt. It's really nice. I'm guessing this is a cast strength. 111 is pretty high. I'm gonna have one more little sip of it because it's actually really nice. But the peat that's on there doesn't really taste like peat. It tastes more smoky than it does peaty. I'm pouring the sample back in the sample. Oh, I'm making a freaking mess. I'm sorry, guys. I'm making a friggin' mess. All right. Wow, that was really interesting. That's really good. Paul John doing some things. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm excited for that. So I mean, I don't know. I took literally 2 sips of it, so we might do another. Let's continue on with my story. Because I have one more thing to talk about. Okay. My intentions. What were my intentions? Why do you go to a whiskey festival to not drink whiskey, right? My intentions were to do reconnaissance / marketing / talking to cool people. Promotion of my stuff, which is it a little a grifter? It's a little grifty, right? But being able to go up to Daniel Whittington or who else did I talk to? Brandon over at 1845 Distilling, coming soon, hopefully. And Brandon actually said, he goes, "I've heard of you." Now, okay, that's a Texas whiskey. I'm a Texas whiskey drinker. I'm a Texas whiskey podcaster, right? So maybe somebody said something about me one time. But it makes you feel good when somebody's like, "I know who you are. You're the shaman guy. You're the guy. You're the shaman guy." That's cool. Jared Hempstead, getting to shake his hand, the master distiller for Balcones. He's like, "How are you?" I'm so doing great. And that's the thing, the community. And this is going back to what I've said in a lot of podcasts, actually. The community of whiskey lovers. I don't know. They are like none other. I don't care if you're a bourbon freak. I don't care if you're all about, because when you're on Whiskey Tube, there's different people out there. There's your people like the Whiskey Tribe, Matt Porter, with ADHD whiskey, Bourbon Junkies. There's Mash and Drum, Bourbonite, all those people, right? Which have done very well for themselves, like in whiskey, maybe not monetarily or whatever, but in whiskey they've done well for themselves. Whiskey Dick actually just canceled his whiskey thing because he was doing a D&D. It's called D&D and Drams or something like that. He switched to that, which, hey, more power to you. He had like 90,000 followers. Whatever, not my problem. They can come over and hang out with me, right? And then there's the others that are people like Wade from Bourbon Hall, Matt from good Lord, I'm missing Baker Drinks and Whiskey Wisdom and all of those. My buddy Doc, Tom from Bourbon Jerk, your drinking buddy, all of my friends. I want to call them friends. Hopefully they feel the same way towards me. Yeah, the whiskey community in itself is amazing, and it showcases that at a said whiskey festival, when you can find like-minded people that are in it just because. I got to meet with a couple of the people who were on the judging for the Best of Texas, and for one, they actually remembered me, which was nice, and for two, they're like, "I'm really glad to see you," and that, I don't know, it makes your spirits, it keeps your spirits up, I guess. It really made me feel good to know that, like, I can go to whiskey things and not be, how do I say it? One thing I've learned doing this podcast is it's okay to have a long pause. I would rather have a long pause than me going, yeah, yeah, you know. So me gathering my thoughts, because it's okay to go to a whiskey event and not really drink whiskey. Does that make sense? Because I, especially me, have to really watch what I'm drinking. Like with the samples I've had tonight, for instance, we're talking sips, a thimbleful at most. So what we're going to do, I'm going to throw this one back into Kitty, and I'm going to get one more. We have one more topic to talk about. So I'm going to keep you for about another 20 minutes, okay? And then I will go through and we'll finish it up. Hopefully you like this type of stuff. You know, the Texas Whiskey Festival is a big part. They sponsored the podcast, all of the things. Go check them out. If you're ever in Texas, think about the festival. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool things going on. They had cigars. And here's how I wrapped it up. I went to the panel that Moose was in. They had another panel that was later, and I was like, man, I really got to get home. Here's the thing. In the Texas Hill Country, at night, the white-tailed deer are crazy, and they will run into your car. The first year that I went to the Texas Whiskey Festival, I was in my plumbing van because I'm a loser and I don't have a vehicle. I was in my plumbing van, and I had fun. I have my BAC, so I checked my, before I left, I stayed the whole time. Yeah, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I decided to go home. Somewhere between my house, between Star Hill Ranch and my house, I hit a deer. The deer actually ran into me, literally ran into me. Because you're doing 60, 65, 70 sometimes. Hit a deer. It scared the ever-living Jesus out of me. It's 11 o'clock at night at this point. I had to call my wife and be like, bruh, yeah, it's not fun. Not fun. So I wanted to get home early. So I left right after the panel. I went and said goodbye to Moose and a couple other people. I tried to get content. Okay, caveat. Friday, which was the 11th, April 11th, Irene Tan, who she's been on the show, she released a cigar malt through Andalusia. It's her distilling company or her spirits company, but it's Andalusia whiskey that they put into different barrels. I need to ask her what the actual why it's considered a cigar malt. If anybody knows, let me know. And so I went and picked up a bottle of that for me and someone else. And I wanted to talk to her about it to say, hey, what's in here? What makes this special, right? She was long gone. So not long gone, but she was, around, which I don't expect people to be like in one spot. There's a lot going on. There's food trucks. There's, people selling their wares. I actually bought some simple syrups. Here's the thing. I'm the type of guy, I can't have certain things. All natural, 100% organic type stuff. You know what I mean? Pretty cool. Supporting local. They're from Bastrop. So supporting local-ish, Texas at least. And they seem like cool guys. And so, yeah, why not? It was like $20, right? Get some. It's fine. If I can't spend $20 to help support local, then I don't even need to be there. Because I got, and I'm going to, full transparency, going to the blind judging, I got gifted a VIP into the festival. So I didn't pay to get into the festival. the least I could do was contribute to something. And I gave some money, even though I wasn't going to be there for the raffle. And this is where they get you, by the old heartstrings. And that's fine, because I would do the same thing. There was a thing, they were doing a raffle, and you would win all these whiskey bottles, right? Different distilleries donated whiskey bottles, and you win. I actually won one year. Still have a couple of those bottles that haven't been opened yet. Yeah, that's how backlogged I am. Anyway, it was for a lady who survived ovarian cancer. And now she has made a thing to where it's like to help people with cancer. And, that's a special place in my heart, obviously. So yeah, it really kind of struck with me. So I gave money, but didn't get any raffle tickets, because, I wasn't going to be there to see it through. So that's just something, giving back to the community, giving back to the people that it's a good cause. Hopefully it's a good cause. Hopefully it wasn't like some sort of Ponzi scheme or something like that. But, the Lord says, if you have something, give it away, because it's futile, right? Money is futile. It's fleeting. Just like this life, right? It's fleeting. So give it away. It doesn't matter. Obviously feed your family, do the things. I got a little extra money, you know what I mean? Not a lot, little extra money. And I didn't have to pay for the ticket to get into the festival. So I thought I'll give back to the community. Hopefully that resonates with people and makes them want to give back to the community again. All right, I'm going to put this Paul John back and pull one more. Ready? Patreon, watch me. Eyes closed. You see me? I can't see. Oh, God. Oh, not that one. That one had the peated whiskey in it. Let's do this one. All right. This one is actually in the chill filtered glass. Let's go. Okay. I need water after that peated whiskey. It's really nice. But I could have blown my palate. All right. I had to look up our next topic because it's a thing that's been happening. So whiskey, this is the next topic. And it's sad. It's a sad topic. I'm not going to leave it on this sad topic, but there was major flooding in Kentucky, like major flooding. The spill well broke. The Kentucky River overflowed. And so I'm going to talk about that. But we do have another dram to go through. So I'm going to write down my things, type proof cask, bottle, distillery. All right. So in early April 2025, which is like a week ago, I think, Buffalo Trace Distillery was experienced in significant flooding. I'm reading this from ChatGPT, so just understand that. Due to the Kentucky River overflowing after days of heavy rain. The floodwaters inundated several buildings in the historic distillery campus, leading to temporary shutdowns of operation, visitor access. Despite severity of the flooding, the distillery managed to resume bottling bourbon and partially reopened on April 14th. Congratulations. Cleanup efforts have been substantial, with over 75% of the debris removed, and inspections of infected barrels are ongoing to ensure product quality. Okay. And then this one is from the New York Post. The flooding in Kentucky was a part of a broader pattern of severe weather affecting the Midwest and South, resulting in at least 24 fatalities across 7 states. In Kentucky alone, over 500 roads were closed during flooding and or mudslides. This is from the Lexington 18 News. In response to the widespread flooding, Buffalo Trace Distillery held an online auction featuring rare whiskey packages, including Pappy Van Winkle and other exclusive offerings. All proceeds from the auctions were directed to the disaster relief efforts in eastern Kentucky. Again, the whiskey community coming out. So what can we do about that? What can we do about flooding? Absolutely nothing, right? We can't do nothing about it. It's going to flood. And you can have precautions in, you can have storm sewers, you can have storm drains, you can have all of these things. It doesn't matter. When the Kentucky River is over, it's over. And the reason those distilleries are close to the Kentucky River, because they're pulling water from the river, or they were. I don't know if they are anymore, but they were. So it's historic that distilleries are by rivers because they pull water from said river. The issue is when the river floods like it did, the first floor of your distillery gets turned into a mudslide. Now, does it affect the whiskey? Yes, because it affected bottling and distilling and distribution and all the things, because you couldn't even get there. But let's think about the barrels themselves. Let's think about the barrels, and then we'll get into our last sample. Sips, of course. So the barrels, a wooden barrel is watertight? Nah. Yes and no. Do barrels leak? Absolutely. Absolutely. Can water get in them? Mm-hmm. Will water get in them? So here's the thing. When a river overflows into a street, into a downtown area, into a distillery, it is not just rainwater, right? It is sewage. It is possible grease traps, possible effluent waste, which could be spillage, silage, all the things, right? Let's say, I don't know if Buffalo Trace has this or not. I'm just throwing this out there. Just listen to me. We'll go from there. Some distilleries have a holding tank that they put their stillage from. So whenever they run the beer or the mash that they made, they will transport it into like a grease trap, for lack of a better word, a container to hold it until it can come get pumped out. Because for one, that material is hot. They're boiling it. So you can't just put it in the back of a truck or into a plastic tote or something like that. You have to store it somewhere and you have to cool it off. So a lot of times they'll put that into a container or into a grease trap or a diversion or diffusing plates to cool it off. So they'll put it somewhere, because you think about it, Buffalo Trace, for instance, they're a big distillery. So they have big stills. So they use a lot of wash. So they have a lot of waste. Now, the waste is used for things. So they have to be able to transport that away. And you cannot transport boiling hot water through a pump or something like that, because it will burn the pump up. Pumps are only rated for such a high temperature, right? So when you're pumping that wort or that mash that's already been distilled, it's extremely hot. You're not going to let the still sit there and cool down overnight, because that's not efficient, right? You got to get it out of there so you can load it back up and get it ready to go again. Does that make sense? Now, a lot of them are doing column or even continuous stills. So just understand that, where the wash is just continuously going down, down, down. So there is all types of stuff in that water. So it is not just rainwater. And you know how, like, when rivers flood, they turn brown, and because it's like silt and dirt and tree limbs and dead raccoons, and which, I mean, I pray for the raccoons family, absolutely, and pray for the fatalities of the whole thing. I mean, I'm joking about that, but I'm not. Like that is horrible. I would hate for anybody to go through that. There was an earthquake in California as well, 5.2. It wasn't huge, but still. Is it the end? No. Anyway, we're not going there. Anyway, so it's not just water. It's sewage, it's effluent, it's grease, it's all the things, right? Bubbling, mixing all together. So are those barrels sanitary? And so they have to test them to make sure that they're potable still. Potable meaning able to drink. So I guess they would have to test the whiskey inside, make sure it didn't have any bacteria. Now, when you have 125 proof ethanol in a barrel, the likelihood of Giardia getting in there is probably slim. But at the same time, I don't want to pick up a bottle of Buffalo Trace and it tastes like poop. That's just me. I don't know about you. But let's get into this last sample, and then I'm going to let you go. Okay, so this one, super dark, chill filtered glass. Since I got one sample right, well, not right, but whew, that's a hot mama. What am I not trying to kill myself? Is that what I'm trying to do? I can't get my nose in it. I cannot get my nose in it. Man, that is spicy. Spicy. All right, I'm going to go in and taste. That's so hot. There's, oh my gosh. Oh. What is that on the end? It's not finished, obviously. So type. I'm going to put bourbon. Proof. 140. I'm doing it. Some bitch is hot. Is it just me? Is it because it's hot outside? It's like the whiskey's hot. Cask, I'm going to put new. Type, I'm going to put straight bourbon. Proof. 140.2. Again. Cask new. All right. I got to go in. I'm going to see if it's finished. Damn. I can't even hardly get in there. It's not off-putting. It's just very ethanol forward. The amount of whiskey that's in my mouth is none. None. Man, that is very familiar. Besides the heat. That's very familiar. Wow. Okay. Man, I don't know. Like, it has a very familiar smell, but it's like so hot. It's so hot. Wow. Man, it tastes like Texas, but light. Screw it. I'm doing iron root. I don't know. Oh. What if it's... There was an iron root hazmat. What is it called? It wasn't Icarus. Ichor. I don't know how to spell it. ICHOR. I think. It was like a blend. I don't remember. Wow. Dude, that is so hot. It's like burning. It's burning. All right, let's figure it out. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Can you read it? You can't read it, can you? It's iron root ichor. It is iron root ichor. Okay, cool. So I got 1, 2, 3 straight bourbon whiskey. 4. What is the proof on that? I think it's 4. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect freaking score. Come at me. Okay, so I'm going to pour this hazmat. What is wrong with me? Why am I picking the hazmat whiskeys? Oh my God. Pouring the rest back in the sample bottle, which I've already sampled before. So there's that. Still have half a sample left, though. That was a 10th anniversary edition as well, like the Danger. And it was gifted to me by said family. I appreciate that so much. Eric, thank you. Okay. I got to go. I got to go make dinner for my son. He's chilling. He don't care. But I hope this was appropriate, whatever. I hope this was okay. I hope that you guys have a great week. And next week, it's a banger. You know it is. That we always bring the heat. I'm trying to get more and more people on. I need to go do some emails. Patreon. All your stuff is coming to you this week. This will go out this week. So this week you will have packages, or at least they'll be shipping to you. Some of you don't live very close to me, so it's going to take a couple of days to get there. Just saying. Freaking Tom. What's wrong with you? Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This has been a ride. This has literally been a ride. The Whiskey Festival. I'm going again next year. I don't know what it's going to look like. It could be different as well. Because it is about the whiskey. It's always about the whiskey, but it's also about the friends, the camaraderie. I would love to do the blind judging again. I think that was really fun for me. Everybody else, whatever, I don't care. But it was really fun for me. And then going to be around people, thoughts and prayers, going to Kentucky and get off my lawn. Yeah. Just to have some personal understanding of don't be in people's houses. That's weird. Get off my property. That's just strange. Why do you think that that's okay? That's not okay. And I'm all about helping people. I really am. I'm all about helping people and getting them to where they need to be. That's a steward in me, right? But when you do it unknowingly to me, it pisses me off. That's called taking advantage. And I don't like it. I already get taken advantage enough. I don't need it from damn strangers, right? So, y'all be good. Stay positive, right? Stay positive. And yeah, until next time, keep your spirits up. Peace out.
Welcome to the Whiskey Showman Podcast.
He called the shit poop.